So let's start. Let me just share my screen with all of you. Is my screen visible? Show me thumbs up if it is visible, Bhaskar. Okay, thank you. So here, before starting, one important fact I would like to bring into your notice. When I was jotting down my thoughts and experimenting about what magic storytelling can do, I've came across this experiment done by Rob Walker in the year 2009. He is a sports journalist. So Rob Walker observed that a jacket worn by Michael Jackson is getting sold at multiplied what is its actual cost is to that many times more, and people are buying it. In fact, there is a fight to grab that jacket. And what the difference is there in the jacket as compared to the other jacket which is similar in the quality, similar in the appearance, similar in the brand? Can any one of you tell me what is the difference that people are ready to pay that much amount when they can get the same jacket from the store? Any answer from any one of you?
It's owned by Michael Jackson, right? So it has brand value of Michael Jackson.
Yes, it has a brand value of Michael Jackson. You are close to the answer. What more?
So people can, if they have it, then they can show it to everybody that they have this in possession. So it's like a prestige thing, a big like something valuable they have purchased.
Yes, somewhat you are close to the answer which I'm looking at. So basically, people are connected with Michael Jackson. They are not looking at just an object, just a cloth. Their emotions are attached to it. And how their emotion is attached to it, this jacket is worn by Michael Jackson, and they are connected with his story. They are connected emotionally with that person, isn't it? So it is not the jacket, the emotion, the story behind it, how they are able to, how much they are crazy about, they are fan of that person and what that person is. You will agree to the fact that all of us are nothing but a story, right? Right from the birth till now to this session you are attending, what legacy you have left behind? Stories, right? So the people are interested in getting the story attached to this jacket. And by realizing this fact, Rob Walker was not satisfied with this realization, with this fact. He went a step further to dig and prove it by himself. What he did, he went on eBay and he bought 200 random objects. And those object was costing not more than $1 or near to $1. He bought 200 objects. All of those arrived at his place and he contacted 200 authors, story writers, and they made them write a story. Every author written a story on every object. And he again went to eBay, and this time those object was listed again, but not alone. This time all of those were listed with a story attached to it. When Walker bought all of these objects, he paid $129. And do you think by adding the story to each object, Was it a change at the time of selling? Did he got a higher price, or there was no very major difference when it was without story and now this time with story? Any guesses?
Now he'll get a better price, a very high price.
Yes. Why he'll get a very high price, Bhaskar?
Because people will listen to the story, and if that story relates to them, so then they will be ready to pay that price, whatever he has put up.
Exactly. This time on eBay, he managed to get sold all of those 200 objects, and in sum, how much he has achieved? $8,000. So you can see a simple head, a statue of a horse head without story, he bought at $1, and with story, he managed to sell with $63. That is the power of story. And why I am narrating this story at the start of the session. All of you are here, and I'm sure some of you must be having the feeling that I don't know what we are going to do today. What is storytelling? It will help us in our profession, or in our training business, or in our communication. But let me tell you, storytelling is something which will help you and which is helping everybody out there who want to sell their idea, their product, those who want to take you any action. Like in this session, what I'm trying to do. At the end of the session, I would love to see that all of you would start taking action to polish your skill as a storyteller, as a story narrator. So what I want all of you to take action. And here we are, as I was mentioning, to discuss how to start that journey of a storyteller. Why it is important, we will discuss again. Some of part of it I've already discussed, and we will discuss more with the progress of our session. Those of you to whom I'm meeting for the first time, I'm CA Kalpana Thakur, Chartered Accountant by profession, motivational speaker, and soft skill trainer by passion. I help people on working their public speaking and communication skill. And what we are going to do today, we are going to understand the basic of storytelling, why it is important, how to start with basics, and how to inculcate the habit, be aware to become a great storyteller. Let's begin. Again, a question for all of you. Each one of us are having a story, right? But when we watch YouTube videos, or when we watch any movie or any web series for that matter, or any ad when we watch, some of them are able to grab our attention and some of them are not. So what is that which is differentiating them from rest? Those who get success in grabbing our attention, in having that emotional connect with us? Any answer? Everybody is having story. All YouTube videos, all movies, all ads are coming with the story. But what is something which is making them connect with us? So this time I would expect the answer. It is very easy. We are discussing this time. I will expect the answer from someone else, not Bhaskar.
It has to be interesting.
Sorry, Pinaki, come again.
It has to be interesting. It has to be something close to my heart, something that I would love to listen to.
Yes, something close to your heart, something which will connect with the target audience, what that product is and whether you are able to relate with it, right? Like today's session, this 8 people found it that yes, it is something interesting for me. So that's why you are here. So similarly, in those stories, those get success, what uniqueness they are having, they are able to tap at the right place, they are able to connect with us at the right moment, and that's why we get engrossed. And there is a methodology to do that, and we'll discuss it later. So everyone is coming back to our discussion. Everyone is having stories. All of us are having stories, but we want that uniqueness to connect with our target audience, to that person which is there on other side of the table, to make our idea, our thought, our experience connect with them. Here there is a picture of my family. It is from 2021, end of 2021, and now I am going to tell you about this uh, photo in two ways. First is, as I have mentioned, it is from November 2021, immediately after doing 11 days Vipassana training session, and my whole family came to pick me up. It was in Bodh Gaya, 200 kilometers from my hometown, Bihar. I've given the required fact about this picture. Yes or no? Yes. Now, another way. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the picture I'm showing you right now. It is not only a simple picture, it is something in which and before which I have lived one of my dream, one of my goal. Let me take you back at the start of 2021 when I have attended a self-help parenting session, and in that session there was a task to do, to make a vision board. I have created this vision board, and you can see a Vipassana training. I came across about this story way back in the year 2018 when I was not married, with one of my two seniors. They were discussing, and I've heard their conversation. And at that point of time, I came to know about Vipassana. And in 2021, in that self help session, I wrote this. It was there in my mind, but I wrote that in my vision board, and I've kept wallpaper of my laptop. And before ending 2021, I was able to do it. And let me tell you the fact, at that point of time, I was mother of two kids, Keshav, who was 2 years old at that point of time, and Raghav, who was 6 months old. At the start, I was thinking how it will happen, how my family will allow, how my kids will be able to stay without me. But everything happened. I was managed to convince everybody. I went there. My husband drove me to there. He dropped me off. I've completed the whole training session. I was able to have that feeling of sensation in the whole body. That was the last part of the training. And when the training was ended and the day was came when my husband will come back to pick me, at that point of time, I was having the feeling that how those 10 days would have been for my whole family. सभी लोग क्या सोच रहे होंगे, सब ठीक से होंगे कि नहीं होंगे. And in the morning, when Abhishek came, I asked him. He was having a mischievous look on his face, and that increased my tension. मैं गाड़ी में बैठी, and he took me to a hotel. I was surprised that why we are not on the way to our village. He took me to a hotel. We went on the first floor. He opened a room, and I saw my whole family in that room. So here, after that meeting, we had this visit to nearby place, and this photo clicked over there. So here the second part of the story, the second method of narrating the story. Now tell me honestly, how many of you was able to relate to the second part? I'm sure some of you was able to relate the feeling of some challenges we are finding. and not able to accomplish it? So waiting for your answers. Yes, Rajeshwari is saying yes. Anybody else? Anybody with whom I was able to connect? Raj Lakshmi is saying yes. True. Anybody else? Okay. So here what I have done exactly. In the first attempt, I've simply narrated that what it is, from which time it is. But in the second time, I have followed a set pattern. I have created some history that how this happened, from where I got the inspiration. I've somewhat mentioned about the journey, how I convinced, was it difficult for convincing my parents, convincing my husband and my in-laws, and the happy ending. A structure I have followed. And that what made you all think, and actually you most some of you like Rajeshri, you people were got the chance to actually think about and correlate the situation, similar kind of a situation into your own life. Coming, we will discuss about this after few slides discussion, and we'll have an interesting activity on it. What is story? I would like to hear some of your answer. क्या है कहानी क्या है? मैंने I have mentioned it at the start of the session, but again I would like to hear from any one of you who would like to share what is mean by story.
A story for me is like a series of connected scenes or things that had happened earlier, which is still embedded in my mind as a memory, and I'm able to relate to that. That could be different kind of emotions. It could be a happy moments, or sad moments, or maybe some challenges. So it can be any kind of stories, but those are the stories which have made some impact on me. It could be a positive, or negative, or a challenge, and that remains in my memory. So that those I would call it as my stories.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Bhaskar, for sharing. So I would love to sing a song from our Bollywood. Um, एक प्यार का नगमा है, मौजों की रवानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है. All of us, I'll again emphasize on this point. हम सभी की एक कहानी है, हम सभी का एक गुजरा हुआ कल है और एक आने वाला कल है. और उस गुजरे हुए कल की कहानी आने वाले कल में कैसा इम्पैक्ट डालेगी, हाउ वी विल यूज आर ओन स्टोरी in our life, in the way we will communicate, is that's what we are discussing now. So that's what the story is. Most of the time we must have thought कि स्टोरी टेलिंग बस जब बच्चों को सुलाना है, at that point of time we narrate those stories, बस उतना ही है. बाकी स्टोरी टेलिंग is not my cup of tea, but you will amaze with the fact which I am going to share with you in the later part of our discussion. But before that, tell me why it is important, storytelling, how it will help us. So पहले इसके बारे में, इसकी advantages, before discussing its advantages, let's brainstorm. What do you think, how it will help, how it is effective or not effective?
It helps in making connection.
Yes, it helps in making connection. So as I was mentioning, there is a surprising fact that as per research, 65% of our conversation comprise of stories and gossips. Yes, you have heard it right. जो भी आप वार्तालाप करते हैं, the conversation with you do with your family, with your colleagues, with your friends, it comprise of more than 60% is stories. And when you want to master your communication skill, mastering your storytelling art is also important. And why storytelling is important? When we watch any ad, what they are doing, they are not selling a product, they are selling a story. When we watch any thought leader, what they are doing, they are sharing stories from their own life or with the legends or someone. And what they are actually doing, they are making us to take action. Entertainers, what they do, the comedian, what they do, they share stories to make us laugh. In the movies, we spend more money. What to watch? To stories. So what, as Rajeshri said, it help us in building the connection. As I have shared that Vipassana story with all of you, what few of you was able to connect with that story. And let me tell you one thing, whatever we will discuss in the session, the good part, the advantages of the story, how to start your journey, maybe you will not remember anything out of it, but you will surely remember my journey of doing that Vipassana training. Yes or not? वो कहानी सबको अब याद रहने वाली है सेशन के बाद कि कल्पना ने अपने 10-11 दिन का विपश्यना ट्रेनिंग कैसे कंप्लीट करा. Yes or no? Type in the chat box. Yes. So it helps in improving the retention. Some of the good qualities of story, it should be emotional. बहुत सारे ads में हमने देखा होगा कि how they exactly target on, वो कहते हैं ना हमारे soft corner पे. So what they are doing, they are establishing an emotional connect with us. Story should be engaging. If audience will not feel like interesting, how they'll be able to engage with the story? As if some of you was there in my previous session, start strong. The basic fundamental to have the engaging and fruitful discussion is engaging your audience. अगर आपके audience का attention ही नहीं है, तो how you will be able to sell your idea, your product, your experience to your participant, to your audience? And memorable. So as I have mentioned, my story, was it falling under the category of emotional? Type in the chat box. Was it engaging? Emotional factor, that I mentioned, I was mother of 2 kids. It was difficult to do the Vipassana, leave them for 10 days. Then engaging, I've mentioned that how at the start I had that vision board. Maybe with the storytelling, I have introduced that aspect also. Ki yes, if you will work on that vision board, so you will be able to achieve, manifest your dream. So some kind of engaging element I was able to put in. And as I mentioned, कहानी, हम बचपन से हमें आदत है कहानियां सुनने की. We relate with stories very easily and it is memorable. So here the basic structure, I will not say this we have to follow, but whenever we are narrating any story, we should have few things in our mind, that the inspiration, that how that part has started. Like in my story of doing the Vipassana training, what was my inspiration? I've got to know about it before getting married. I've overheard a conversation of my senior, and then how I have planned it and how it happened, how the planning part, as I was mentioning. First, having the vision board, then slowly and gradually discussing with the family member, at the same time doing the registration process, how I have reached there. At the time of coming back, I was having the feeling that how people will think, how my family member will think. At that point of time when I came home back, actually there was conversation happening. हमारे गांव में ये बातें हो रही थी कि पता नहीं, we are not allowed to take any phone or something. So ऐसा हो रहा था कि पता नहीं दुल्हन कहाँ चली गई है. So that part of the things was there. And the ending. Here, at the end, I have not mentioned a takeaway for you or call for action, which should be added, that whenever you are telling a story or an experience from your life, what you are telling to your audience कि भाई क्या करना है उनको, कोई action लेना है, or you are entertaining, or you are just sharing that information. So here I have shared that story to mention that whatever dream or goal you are having in your mind, and at the same time, if you feel that there are challenges which is stopping you to accomplish them, be firm in your decision and believe in the power of that supreme power, and also walk. There is a two thing. First is believing that what we can do, what will happen for us, and at the same time taking action. So not only look at the challenges in your life, take action and believe that the things are going to turn out in your favor. Here, a tip for all of you, that from now onwards, after this session, if you are really serious about sharpening your saw of, वो कहते हैं ना अपने वो skill को आपको skill पे आपको काम करना है, तो start observing a good story. Don't just watch a story or a talk like a TED talk or a YouTube video or a movie for the sake of entertainment or for the sake of gaining that knowledge, whatever. Say, for example, that discussion is for, let's take an example, how to excel communication skill. So how that speaker is speaking in that 10 minutes or 20 minutes talk, what element they are using, as we have discussed here, the structure of the story. So what the structure is, how the plot is, what they are planning, how they are sharing the call for action, and what it will make us, it will help us to gain and work upon our storytelling techniques. And here is the surprise, if is in a good story, actually you won't be able to figure out what is the structure, kahan pe start hai, kahan pe inspiration hai, kaise planning hui, plot unhone kaise meet kara, what is the conclusion. You'll have to refer it back. That is the power of effective storytelling. Now, as I have mentioned, all of us are storyteller. हम सबके अंदर वो एक क्या कहते हैं कहानीवाचक है. So I have mentioned on the group that to share your photo with a family or solo one. So we are doing a small activity, like I have shared my family picture and I have shared a story behind it. I would love to have 2 to 3 volunteers here and having that story part 2 to 3 minutes, and rest of us will note that what was the inspiration, how the planning happened, what was the message in the story. So Pinaki has already shared his photo. Anyone else would like to participate? Till the time you people are making your mind. So Pinaki, are you there?
Yeah, I'm very much here.
So you have understood what you have to do. I'll share that picture for rest of us to watch, and you have to tell your story, 2 to 3 minute story of that picture.
Of that picture.
Yes.
Okay. I need to remember what the story was all about.
Okay.
That's a decent one.
And by the time Pinaki is sharing his story, some of you would like to come up after him. Do share your photo with me. And Pinaki, here you go. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Oh, this one. This is a really interesting one. Like I have my bank account in ICICI Bank, and this was in South Extension. So we were all at home, and we planned to go there for some work. So we thought that okay, chalo sab milke jate hain, because South Extension was my old. क्या बोलते हैं उसका, हम बांग्ला में बोलते हैं पाड़ा. I don't know what you call it in Hindi and English, but it's like that old place where we used to stay, and so I had some nostalgic connection with this ICICI Bank, because the day it was opened in our area, I was probably the second or third client to enroll there. So now what happened that we all of us we thought that chalo sab milke jate hain, and we were there around, they closed the bank at around 3:30. So we were there almost around 3:30. And then we went up to the counter. The girl sitting in this counter was clicked this photograph. Her name is Muskan. So so I used to talk to her quite a few times because of my own banking requirements. We went and meet her almost about 6 months ago. Yeah, 6 to 8 months ago for some activities, for some personal reasons. Yeah, they had some mandates for bank lockers. So they said, you please come up and sign up this form. It needs to be done. So anyway, we went there and we did that last time, about 6 to 8 months ago. And so every time I meet this girl, I tell her that, आपका नाम ही इतना प्यारा है कि मुस्कान अपने आप चेहरे पे आ जाता है. And then I told her that, and you can actually capture this moment of our entire family if you don't mind. So I just gave my camera to her, mobile camera to her. I told her that, can you please capture this beautiful moment, Muskan, for us? And she captured few pictures. And I asked her that, is it your reflection? Can you see your reflection over there? And she said, yes, sir. I can see my reflection over there. So that's how we captured this picture, and it was added to our memory. So this was that place in that ICICI Bank South Extension Part 2. और भी बोलना है या 3 मिनट हो चुका है?
हो चुका है.
हो चुका है. चलो, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So before I will ask anyone to volunteer, so I want all of yours takeaway from the story shared, beautiful story of that picture, family picture shared by Pinaki. Rajalakshmi is saying, so nice of you. Okay. Yes, answers please. Bhaskar is smiling.
I'm actually searching for the photographs. My mobile photographs, everything I removed. So it's just in some Google, I'm trying to search if I can find something.
Okay.
But yeah, Pinaki's story is definitely, he starts with a curiosity, like what, okay, some comment, and then that automatically it's like a hook, and then the story gets developed. And now the memories are related to that story is like, usually, everybody would share the same way.
Bhaskar, we can't hear you.
Sorry.
Now it's
Yeah.
okay. Now it's okay.
Yeah. I had moved my mic. Sorry. So the story, if you are starting with some hook, it immediately attracts the attention of everybody, and then you slowly develop it. So that's the kind of flow I saw in his story. And pictures speak a lot. When you see a picture, it really throws a lot of emotions and the stories around that. So that's why we have a habit of storing some memorable pictures. We have a lot of albums, and also whenever you are scrolling through the albums, all that entire that incident or that story moves ahead in front of your eyes like a movie. So that's that's how I can connect with the pictures.
Yes, that's what happened. So when I've opened my hard disk to take the picture. Actually, I was thinking to take another picture, and this photo came in my front of me, and I thought, let's take this. So as Bhaskar was mentioning, when you open your album, na, every picture is having a story. and uh, and after thinking and experimenting about this storytelling workshop and session, I feel like I can write the story on every picture and will share with the people and see what the feedback is. So I think Bhaskar is ready with his picture, and we are having some beautiful comments for Pinaki. Jigyasa is saying, I can connect with the nostalgia that Pinaki described, could travel with his description and imagine people and event involved. I was also thinking in that manner, and today he gave me a new perspective that he went in a bank to open an account and how he built that rapport with that Muskan. So that is truly inspiring, and that is my takeaway. And picture speaks thousand words. Yes, Rajal.
Yeah, and see now imagine you are going to the same bank and you are looking for that girl Muskan, and then you are sharing the same story about me, how it will impact her.
Yes,
You can build rapport with her instant and then start getting your work done.
yes, exactly. So, Bhaskar, you are ready with your picture, or anybody else would like to volunteer?
I'll try to put it in that group what you have shared. So if you
Okay,
can see that
art
group,
of influence. Okay, wait a minute.
there are many pictures. I just found one, so it will take some time. So I just picked up one.
Okay, and we have one more volunteer. She has texted me personally. So after Bhaskar, we will take her. So let me just share the screen. Beautiful picture. Bhaskar, are you guys able to see this?
Okay. Looking at the picture, what is the first impression you get? What is the first immediate impression you get?
Birthday.
Yeah. Birthday, yes. Anything else?
Some jokes has been cracked and all are laughing on a special moment.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe something unusual you have done and they are your
It
kids
was not
are
birthday, it
laughing.
was Father's Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
far.
this was my
Okay.
so this is a picture of my birthday, and on my birthday, my both my children made me a target. So I am trying. So so this happened like I had to cut the cake, and then it was a surprise cake. They planned it. I was not even aware of it. Suddenly, they planned to celebrate my birthday. I usually am not. I'm not. I don't do celebrations like that. But it was like a surprise. Suddenly they planned, and then they started talking about my old memories, my old friends, and then they said, okay, you're aging, you're growing, and then they started pulling my legs. Now how will you get your new girlfriends and new relations, all that? So they started cracking jokes on their own, and so I am trying my best to ignore them. If you see my expression, I am trying my best to ignore them, but they were like pulling my legs. Like my son was starting and my daughter used to support, and my daughter will start something and he will support, and they were just having their laugh, having a blast at the expense of me. I'm trying to not get angry. I'm trying to not show any emotion. But if you see my expression, I'm trying very hard. So that was the memory, and it really it's beautiful picture, that memory. We were having a blast of the blast. So that picture really gives that emotions back. So they were so that was a thing which it was which brings memory about this.
Great.
So I after that, all my birthdays they will show this picture, and they will always say, okay, you remember this, you remember this. So this will become my target for every birthday.
Great sharing. So we'll take next story and then we'll have our discussion about both the stories. Let me share the another one. Rajeshwari, I'm sharing the screen and your time starts now. 2 minutes.
Okay,
Are you
sure.
ready?
Thank you. Yeah. It's a dream of a girl who wanted to see the mountains and rivers or waterfalls, which wanted to connect. And she could fulfill this dream in the previous week. And the story behind this, the interesting story is that as she was scrolling the Instagram reels, she came to, as you know, in the Instagram, you able to see so many beautiful images of natural places. So at the last, they asked who with whom you want to go or visit this place. So I just shared a reel with my husband, Instagram reel, and to be a very means to my excitement to my excitement, I could fulfill this dream to visit the natural places, a hill station in Gangtok. And so I was very happy. This is my picture of my family, and I was very happy when my husband gave me a gift, 25th anniversary gift of this natural beautiful hill station. Actually, he was aware that I love to spend the time in the natural places. So this was a beautiful gift from him, and me and my husband and my kids were very happy to visit that place. So somewhere my dream of traveling to a hill station got fulfilled as a gift, 25th anniversary gift. So yes, each and every picture is a beautiful story, has a beautiful story behind it. So I'm happy by fulfilling this dream of mine. And the beautiful statement my husband was adding each and every time was that to everyone, every person whom he was meeting in that destination, to the driver or the hotel staff, मेरी बीबी को पहाड़ पानी पसंद है, मैं उसे पहाड़ पानी घुमाने लाया हूँ. तो ये स्टेटमेंट बहुत अच्छा लगा उनके तरफ से. So that's all.
Thank you so much, Rajeshwari and Bhaskar. So here to our rest of the participants. So what is the takeaway for you in both the stories, in Rajeshwari's story, her 25th wedding anniversary, and Bhaskar's story of Father's Day celebration?
I think if we have to say something strong and make people to remember for it, remember about it forever, then I think we should just have a picture or a visual to share the story so that it just gets stuck in your mind. So this is what is stuck in my mind. Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else? Here, one important point I would love to mention. So, for before that, my takeaway for me in Rajeshwari's story, that line I will remember. His husband was telling to everybody, "मेरी बीवी को पहाड़ पानी बहुत पसंद है, इसीलिए मैं दिखाने के लिए लाया हूँ." That was the catching point. And when she was saying this, actually able to feel that how people must be reacting by hearing that line, that nostalgia feeling. And in Bhaskar case, I was able to relate that how my kids, his kids was making fun of him. And by looking at that picture, it was not, ऐसा लगा नहीं कि वो control कर रहे हैं अपने गुस्से को, but he mentioned that fact that it was actually the case. So that's what humor and emotion both played very important role in the story. Yes, yes, Jigyasa. So we have heard 3 story, in fact 4 story, including mine. And do you guys think this same story, the same plot, with the same detail, it can be enhanced? इसको और interesting बनाया जा सकता है? Tell me yes or no.
Yes, yes,
Bhaskar is nodding yes. He is
yes.
with me. Yes, and what we have to do, अभी शुरुआत करने के लिए हमें वही करना है. A same story, I will give this task to Bhaskar, to Rajeshwari, to Pinaki, that with the same story, after the session, try to repeat that with more interesting way. थोड़ा सा उसमें कैसे हम किस पार्ट को पहले कह रहे हैं, like in Bhaskar's photo, suspense create करने के बहुत सारे केक है. I have mentioned birthday, then Pinaki was able to make out that no, it was a Father's Day celebration and there was a prank. So how we will be able to make our story interesting, that will help us to come up with our story when we will communicate in more interesting and engaging manner. And why I am telling you this, because those of you like Rajeshwari was there in my session of coming out of your limiting belief, and I have not only mentioned about any theories that you have to do this and that and you will be able to work upon those limiting beliefs, but I have shared my story, my journey from childhood to becoming a chartered accountant. And that's what I'm doing when I'm a toastmaster. When I deliver my speeches, I pick up topic from my life, like I have to speak upon my communication style. So rest of the participant in the club, they feel like that part of giving speech about communication style is very boring. But my speech, everybody found very interesting and engaging, because what I did, like authoritative communication style, I've used the conversation of me and my husband, then dominative smile, what I was before when it used to come to communicating with my subordinates. So I've actually used what I'm doing, what I'm experiencing in my life, and that I've plotted in my story, and audience was able to engage and relate with it. When you're looking at a story, you're watching something, when you are hearing something, अपने लाइफ से हम जब रिलेट कर पाते हैं, नॉर्मली हिंदी मूवीज में क्या, हिंदी मूवीज और एनी स्टोरी, व्हाट हैपेंस, देयर इज अ हीरो और हीरोइन, दे आर हैविंग initially they'll show their normal life, then there is a challenge come, something they have to do, like in 90s movie, a hero, he's from poor family, then a rich heroine, he want to marry her, but her father is having a condition that इतना पैसा कमाना पड़ेगा, so there is a challenge. So हम most of the time we feel like, yes, if we are into similar situation or any of it, we are able to relate with it. And when that hero pushes his limit and come out of that challenge, then we feel happy by looking at that story, and that's how we able to relate. Moving ahead, it's only 8 minutes remaining of our discussion. So that's what the structure, basic structure I have mentioned. But let me tell you, you must have heard, we are hearing different types of stories, different types of talk, and there is a not set structure. As I have mentioned before, it is up to us it is up to that story narrator कि क्या पहले दिखाना है. Some of the movie they start with the climax and then they go back. So at the start, when we are started to experimenting with our storytelling technique, we have to see that every time we have to do better. जैसे कि हमने जो एग्जाम्पल लिया फॉर स्टोरी टेलिंग का, दोज ऑफ देम विल गो बैक एंड विल ट्राई टू रिविजिट दैट पिक्चर, दैट मोमेंट, और उसको और कितना इंटरेस्टिंग वे में वो प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं. एंड दोज ऑफ यू हु हैव नॉट पार्टिसिपेटेड, आई विल request all of you to do the similar exercise after the session and see the magic if you want to really work upon your storytelling ability, your storytelling technique. And now let's discuss जिस जो वो कहते हैं ना काम की बात, जो what I have mentioned, how to start your storytelling journey, the basics. So very simple steps I will mention. This we are discussing from the start, and a part of it we have just done. Your tiny stories. जब आप सोचते हैं कि storytelling is not my cup of tea, I've just mentioned that 65% of conversation is storytelling. हर दिन आप बात कर रहे हैं. Let's take an example. दिन खत्म होने पर किसी family member ने या किसी friend ने पूछा, how was your day? And if that person is ready to listen, how you are responding. So take that opportunity to show your talent as a storyteller. It will help you, because from the moment I am into awareness that yes, I have to work upon my communication skill, I see chances कि कहाँ पे मैं बोलूं, कहाँ पे मैं एक्सप्रेस करूं मेरी स्किल्स को, कहाँ पे मैं पॉलिश करूं, और देखूं कि what the feedback, what the impact I am leaving on the person on the other side. So from there, you have to start everyday conversation, those tiny moments. Second step is find your day-to-day stories. Here, एक तीर से दो शिकार हो रहा है. If you are someone who is not journaling at the end of the day, this is something in which you are working on your storytelling technique and as well as you are journaling also. What you have to do, हर दिन कुछ ना कुछ हमारे साथ ऐसा हुआ होता है, कोई ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस, कोई ऐसा इंसिडेंट that leaves an impact on us. Some good moment, some bad moment, some cherishing moment, like few of them we have just discussed. So note those moment. बहुत डिटेल में मेंशन करने की जरूरत नहीं है, ऐसे कि हमें वो याद रहे. And what is our take on it? So इससे क्या होगा? सबसे पहले तो हम हो जाएंगे mindful that every moment which is happening around us. जिंदगी क्या है, जो मैंने स्टार्ट में कहा, बस एक कहानी ही है. हर दिन हमारी जिंदगी की किताब में एक कहानी का एक नया पन्ना ऐड हो रहा है. And we will be mindful of all those stories, all those kahanis, and we will be having a store of our own treasures, हमारी खुद की कहानी. When it comes to persuading and impacting people around us, nothing will be better than your own life experience, your own life stories. And here we will be, by doing this exercise, we are accumulating them. And some of you, most of you are here trainer and coaches. For them, it is really helpful. Yes or no? Because in my case, it is helping me a lot when I come up with my own life experience. Then अभी तक खाली हम अपने ही कहानी की बात कर रहे थे. अब watching the great storytellers, great YouTubes, podcast, TED Talks, because as I mentioned at the start, everybody is having a story and they are having some or the other purpose. Like advertisement, what they are doing, they are selling their story to make us buy their product. If you have came across any advertisement on YouTube, especially of those coaches and trainers, how they start, first they pinpoint the problem area, right? अगर आपकी लाइफ में ऐसा है, like Dev Gandhi's commercial, he normally target that crore club, if you are at that particular age and if you are not in the list of crorepati, you are doing some serious harm to your life. And then they talk what they have in store to offer them, and most of the people get connected with the idea, with the story they are sharing, because it is the normal phenomena that most of the people at the age of 30, the thing which they are talking, they fall into that category and they connect with it, and they buy the, they enroll for the session. Yes or no? Then type in the chat box if you are able to relate to it what I'm mentioning. Yes, thank you, Bhaskar. And then the comedian, as I have mentioned, how they are making us laugh. When you watch any comedian, stand-up comedian, how they are making their plots before a laugh moment, and again before, immediately before a laugh moment, what they are making. The thought leaders like Simon Sinek, start with why, how he has made, if you got the opportunity to watch his TED talk, start with why. If not, go back and watch his video, how he has mentioned the stories about the great leaders and how they have started, and the politician, how they seek support from us, how they connect with us. So if we want to polish our storytelling technique, so before giving that output, I always believe in it कि पहले हम कोई चीज अच्छी करें, we have to work upon it, and we have to hear the great people, those are actually doing the great job in that field. And the fourth comes practice. If you have been there in the session of communication, basic step of communication mastery, I have shared 3 steps. Immersion, second was visual mental rehearsal, and third was practice, practice, practice. हम अपनी भी स्टोरी टेलिंग पे काम कर रहे हैं, हम सुन भी रहे हैं, but we need a constant practice. Find a group with like-minded people. Like I'm associated with Toastmaster. Over there, I always try to incorporate a story in my speeches I'm delivering. And बिना परफॉर्म करे कैसे पता चलेगा, बिना परफॉर्म करे, बिना फीडबैक लिए कैसे पता चलेगा कि हम अच्छा कर रहे हैं, whether we are improving or not. And last but not the least, commit to a big goal. I have not asked the question at the start of the session ki why you guys are here. I have mentioned that all of you are here because you are interested in this topic, having the skill, working on the skill of storytelling. But I have not asked your why. So may I have your answer of your why you want to work on this skill? Because again, I will go back to Simon Sinek golden circle. किसी चीज को हम क्यों कर रहे हैं, उसकी वजह हमें नहीं पता, तो we won't be able to take our action in the right direction. Which type of audience we want to address, which type of work which type of objective we have, the end result we have in our mind, which will help us with the storytelling, mastering the storytelling techniques. So let me just check my chat box. So I'm asking for the your why. What is your why? Why you want to work on your, so in my case, being a soft skill trainer and motivational speaker, I found the story is the best way to connect with the audience, being a physical meeting or a virtual meeting. Instead of only talking about the theories and experiments and studies, when we bring our story on the table, it bang on connect with the audience, and we get the result we want. That is my why to work on this storytelling technique. What is your why? So I plan another activity, but permitting the time, we will keep that for another session of storytelling. And now I would like to, it's already 5:02. So Pinaki was sharing his why.
Yeah, for me, it's plain and simple. I just want to stay in the limelight in every possible way, whatever it takes, no matter what. So if it is a story, in fact, I am very good at storytelling, and I can share a story on any topic. You give me any topic, and I will connect a story with it. I'm so good at it. The only thing is that I don't write stories. But yes, I'm very good at creating stories. Wherever I am right now, right there. In fact,
Great.
you have experienced it. You have experienced it many times, how I do
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I've experienced it. And we will have our audience to experience it maybe in the upcoming session of storytelling.
Yeah, and
Thank
one of the phrase which I normally use while sharing any story is that "एक बार क्या हुआ पता है?" That's how I start, and then I create the story on the fly.
Yes, so your why is being in limelight. Anyone else would like to answer? या फिर ऐसे ही कल्पना सेशन ले रही है, लेट्स सी क्या कैसे होता है, क्या सब डिस्कशन हो रहा है, इसीलिए आ गए, कोई वाई है ही नहीं किसी का एक्सेप्ट पिनाकी. Your voice is not coming, Bhaskar.
Yeah, sorry. You can hear me?
Yeah.
So my why is something which I need to cultivate that habit of structuring my storytelling, and that will help my audience or people whom I'm communicating to relate to that and connect with that emotions. I have sometimes I have very powerful content, but since it's lacking the storyline, even though it's powerful, it's not delivered that way. So it is. I feel that it's missing that punch. So
So
with
basically,
yeah.
yeah, continue.
So to make that little more emotionally connect with the story, I feel that the storytelling will help. You know, uh, that's how that is my why. So I'm working on that.
Yes, exactly. So you have your why is having the engagement,
Yes,
impactful
engage.
engagement with your audience.
Yes.
Great. So there was, so first of all, I would like to have, thank you, Bhaskar, for sharing. I would like to have your feedbacks in the chat box, which will help me. Was this session helpful for you? What the last 1 hour spent with me? Uh, was I able to made any value after leaving this session? Are you having some extra knowledge, some bit of it? What is your takeaway? If you can share in the chat box, because there's so much I want to share, and I have planned about storytelling, and it will help me to come up with those sessions like the 22 principle which Pixar is following in their animated movies. All of them are hit what they are doing, and we will study the different videos how they have worked. So many things is planned, and if I'll be able to know that I'm making really difference in your storytelling skills, then it will help me. Jigya structure is an importance of storytelling, Rajeshwari. Okay, so some of the sharing is for the why of the other participant. So connect with the team and influence. Okay, Jigyasa improving on my skill of narration, being more impactful, and Rajeshwari structure and importance of storytelling. So this is not why, Rajeshwari, structure and importance of storytelling.
No, as you asked the feedback of that,
Okay,
yeah, that I
okay,
wrote. So yeah, not my wife.
okay, got it. Okay, so any feedback you want to give, you can unmute. If you are not, you don't have want to type on the chat box, you can give right away here. Otherwise, we will close the session. And I'm not asked any thing about having any doubt in your mind, so you can ask your question, whatever we have discussed. Ruhani is mentioning, got inspired by the message, tell story and rule the world. Okay, the message I have shared while I was circulating the flyer. Okay, thank you, Ruhani. Yes, actually, it is those who are ruling the world. They are the great storytellers, and we have to work upon. We have to inculcate those skills into our life. So, all right, with that, uh, we are good to close to conclude our today's session. Thank you so much to all of you for being there. Thank you.
Thank you.